What's going on, people? So I feel like I've done enough miles in these to have settled on my opinion. This is the Asics Gel-Kayano 32, right? This is the Luxe style, right? Which comes in at like a $5 to $10 price premium over the standard, and all you can really get is like a different little decal on the side, and I guess that was pretty much it. But anyway, so yeah, not a whole lot, right? But anyway, so I ran around in these a little bit today to kind of settle on some things. Pulled these out as well. This is going to be the 31 from last year. It's the Platinum version, right? So again, all you get that's different from a standard, just like some extra bells and whistles on the upper. More so on the visual, they don't do anything for like the actual shoe itself as far as wearing them and how they feel. Anyway, so this right here, right now, in case you're not quite sure, whatever, this model, the Asics Gel-Kayano series, right, it is kind of more on the stability side of things, like gives you some support and all that stuff, right? You know, it even has a little support system built in there, right? So it's not going to be like a cushiony style thing like the Nimbus would be, or like, especially not like the Nova Blast would be. So just know that going into this, right, in case you didn't know that or whatever, and you were comparing these to some other stuff, just want to let you know, because like they do have a similar build look wise, and like they have the Flight Foam Blast Plus in these, same as the Nimbus does, right? But you're going to get a very different experience out of the two. So that out of the way. So I ran around in these, right? I've been a fan of the Kayanos for a while because I do like the more stable side of these, right, compared to the other things. So these are kind of like my preference, right? And they're working out great, right? Compared to the last year model, right, they did make a couple adjustments. So on this one, it's going to be like a lighter material and a redone upper as far as like the mesh goes, right? So you got that. And then the tongue is also going to be a little bit different. Here you have like the big plush sort of style. Here you have like the thinner one, right? So you got that as well. And the pull tab doesn't go all the way around, like as far as like material wise, like it did over here, right? So those are the things you can easily see. What you can't so much see is that this one does have a little bit more cushioning in the front of the shoe, right? The back of the shoe is going to be the same as it was last year. I believe it was 4 millimeters of the cushioning that they added, which is pretty nice, right? So to me, right, while I'm running around in these, I started with these ones right here today, doing my little comparison and whatnot. So just to give you an idea of what I did, and this isn't going to be super in-depth or technical, it's just how things went for me, right? So I did 1.5 miles, right? Started with like about a 9-minute pace for the first 2 laps. The second 2 laps was close to 8, and then the last ones were closer to 7, right? Because I figured like that'll give me a good range. So running slowly in these, they feel good. Running quickly in these, they still feel good, right? It's not a speed shoe, but it's not holding you back either, right? Which is cool. And even on those slower like recovery run type days, if you're going to be pulling back a lot on like speed or whatever, you still want something that, even though it isn't like super cushion, it's still going to be nice and comfortable, right? So that's kind of why I structured both of those runs the same thing. I did them in this, then did it in this. This, you could feel like every step, you know, like it was a little flatter, right? Compared to over here, you do have like the extra foam in the front, right? Which does give you a nice little bit of energy return and all that stuff. And it just didn't feel so flat with like each foot strike or whatever, right? Depending on how you run, you know, I was going through like different pacing styles at different points or whatever, just to kind of see. But yeah, it was a pretty consistent feeling. And then also past that, just having like a lighter feel. Like when I put these on after wearing these, it was like a night and day difference, honestly. Like it did. I've said before that when you buy running shoes that are like good running shoes or whatever, and like you just buy them to walk around in, you may not really notice like what technology you're actually paying for. But when you're running in them, then you kind of do, right? So, and I was kind of on the fence a little bit about these when I was like doing some walking around in here, but I knew it might be a little bit different when I got out there, and it was, right? Because after I took these off, put these on, like things felt better almost pretty much instantly, you know? And I don't want to make it sound like these were terrible. They're still fine. I would still suggest like holding on to these and not running out to buy these or whatever. You've still got like life in these or whatever. But just know if you do opt to get around to buying a new pair of the 32s, then you can have a better experience to be expected or whatever. That's just how it worked out for me. So yeah, they work out great, and I'm a big fan of them, you know. So like I said, I did some faster routes, some slower routes, just in the past, right? Wearing these things are good, and just giving you like my piece of it, just kind of, as far as full transparency goes, I'm a big Asics guy, huge fan of it, right? Much bigger on like the Kayanos specifically within them, but I like a lot of their stuff, right? And I'll admit, like, I can see how this may not be the shoe necessarily for everybody. To me, it's like one that I can rely on for pretty much anything. If I'm just going out just for a regular type daily thing or whatever, that is where these kind of shine. If I need a specific purpose, like, okay, I want to go, like, I want to for sure have something cushiony because it's recovery day, or I want to for sure have something fast because it's like a speed day, then yeah, sure, I'll do something else. And I'll like those other things for those occasions. But this, I could pull it out for those, and maybe I will. But the thing that I'm driving home here is like, I still like to pull these out whenever I can, just because to me, when I put these on, it just feels very comfortable all in all. And it's just a thing that I'm into, right? It's like when you get in the car and you're driving, like, you might think, well, okay, Alkaline Trio, I can listen to that whenever. But maybe there's some days where you want the Gaslight Anthem. Maybe there's some days when you want some Tegan and Sarah, It kind of depends what's going on. But yeah, these have been working out great. I would definitely suggest looking into them and considering buying a pair. The color selection for the standards, not super great in my personal opinion, but soon enough they should have some more. And also, just to give you some sort of other alternative or whatever, there is this as well. The Brooks Glycerin GTS 22 does a lot of the same stuff, but has a lot better colors in my opinion. So it's definitely something to consider. Price point's the same, build is very much the same. They're doing the same thing, just one comes from Asics, one comes from Brooks. This is my overall personal pick because of all the things I just said. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. Later, people.